Hey guys, I'm back with a quick tutorial on how to make these really cute bag envelopes out of computer paper. The reason why I use the computer copy paper is because a lot of times I make my card envelopes with that. It's more budget friendly, and it's a really nice and pliable, you know what I mean? It's not real stiff and heavy cardstock. So that's what I used for this. And I'm going to give you two different dimensions, okay? One is going to be for the 3.5 inch bag, which will fit your cork charm and your cardstock, which measures 2.5 inches across. Let me make sure, yeah. 2.5 inches across by 6 inches long. You can do them longer if you want, but I wouldn't go any more than like 2.5 inches because the cork charm is so bulky that it makes, you know, it bulks out your bag. You know what I'm saying? So I'll give you the dimensions for the 3.5 inch bag, and then I'm also, or envelope, going to give you dimensions for the 3 inch bag, because these are great for altered tickets. I know you guys do a lot of ticket swaps, and I used to, and I still do. When I swap tickets or I want to give somebody something, I use these pretzel bags. And these are great for tickets that are non-dimensional, just artsy looking. But if you're going to add embellishments to your tickets, these bags get a little too tight. So I went ahead and purchased these. I found these at Michael's at one point. They were on clearance. They're the industrial chic paper sleeve bags and tags set, and you get 8 bags and then the 8 tags. The problem is I can't find these anymore. So I was actually going to use these for my cork charms, but because they're so bulky, these didn't fit. But I had purchased these for when I make my tickets dimensional and I want to send them in a rack. I wanted to use these for that instead of the pretzel bags. So this is where I got the idea to come up with this. I'm sorry if you guys hear that noise. They're working outside. First I came up with the 3 inch bag, but it was still a little too tight for the cork charm. So then I came up with the dimensions for the 3.5. So I'll give you both, and you guys can play around and, you know, do whatever ones you want. Stick this back in here. Okay, and put these aside. Okay, this is a regular sheet of copy paper from the printer. It measures 8.5 by 11. You're gonna line it up to the 8.5. Okay, for the 3 inch across, 3 inch wide bag, you're gonna score it at 2 3/4 on one side, flip your paper around, and score it again at 2 3/4. And that's going to give you the 3 inch. If you want to make the 3.5 inch wide bag for your altered corks or envelope, you want to line it up at the 8.5. You're going to score it at 2.5 inches, and then flip it around and score it again at 2.5 inches. Now when you're scoring, score gently because computer paper is really thin, and I punctured through it a few times before I realized, you know, hey, lighten up, Cindy. So once you do that, set your scoreboard aside for a little bit. You want to fold your score lines up. Okay. These are really simple and they're so fun, and if you're doing a lot of them, like for tickets and stuff, that's why I suggested using the copy paper, because it's cheaper. So your top flap here, you're going to want to run a little bit of adhesive on the edge. Don't run adhesive on the inside of the flap, or it'll accidentally get glued down to the center, and you don't want to do that. So I'm just using a regular glue stick, and I'm going to run it along my edge. And I go in about 1 inch with the adhesive just to make sure it's nice and wet and glued. And you're going to flip it over, line it up, and smooth it down. Man, I really pushed on that glue, didn't I? Let me wipe that off. Okay. Put this aside. And I just run my bone folder over it. Okay. So now you have your paper sack. What I do is I usually round the corners. I don't have a edge puncher, so I just use my decorative scissors here to kind of round my edges out. One day I'm going to get a corner puncher, but for right now these work just fine. So I round them off. Now I'm going to get my scoreboard out again. I'm going to line it up 11-inch way, and I'm going to score at 3/4 of an inch. Okay, now the part where that has your seam, that side, that's the side you want to fold up your bottom piece to, so that this seam and this seam's in the back of the bag. And then at this point, I usually use my liquid glue. I'll open the flap back up, and I'll run some glue on the inside of the flap, and I kind of spread it around in there. Let me get a wet wipe here, because I am making a mess, guys. Okay, and then I seal up that bottom. Okay, so now my bottom's all sealed. I'm going to add adhesive to this part and glue it up. Okay, so run my liquid glue along there, and then I spread it out so it's even. Flip it up. And that's pretty much all there is to it. Now you guys have a, paper envelope for your tickets or your altered cork charms. Now I stamped on mine. This one I stamped with my script stamp, and I used Victorian Velvet Distress ink. And this one I stamped, I kind of off stamped on it with this postcard stamp right here, and that was from TPC Studios. And then for the back of my bag, I created this little lip here. Basically all I did was go in with my 1-inch circle punch in the back where the seam is, and I kind of lined it up in the middle and went halfway in and punched it out. Okay, so there's a really easy, simple, budget-friendly paper bag, envelope, whatever you want to call it, for your tickets, for your ticket swaps, or your altered corks, or whatever you want to use it for. So if you guys have any questions, let me know, and thanks for watching. Take care.